Hi, I'm Radhia Gleis, and I'm pleased to announce the release of my brand new book, The Followers: Holy Hell and the Disciples of Narcissistic Leaders. How my years in a notorious cult parallel today's cultural mania. And today, I want to read you some excerpts from the book, and I'll be doing that periodically, so stay tuned. But this is sort of appetizers, a little smorgasbord of how the book goes. It's available on Amazon, and it's also on Audibles, so feel free to buy the whole thing. But in the meantime, I'm going to give you a few bites, starting with, to Jaime Gomez, "You're so vain, you probably think this book is about you." Introduction. What a ride these past few years have been. It feels like the headlights of the year 2020 rushed up behind us, then suddenly disappeared in our rearview mirror, rammed our fender, and swerved around us, while rageful, drunken juveniles leaned out their windows, raising their fists and yelling vile expletives. Shocked, confused, and frightened, America is left with little more than red taillights speeding off into the future. Our maps and GPSs flew out the open window miles ago, and this journey has no end in sight. Exhausted, our eyelids strain to stay open as we keep our foot on the pedal and attempt to navigate the twisted highways and bumpy back roads ahead. But as though in a reoccurring dream, it seems I've been on this road before. I recognize the signposts, the potholes, the winding, dangerous curves. I spent 25 years of my adult life in a cult under the influence of a narcissistic sociopath. I left the group over 12 years ago, but the post-traumatic stress entombed in my psyche has been repeatedly triggered by the characteristics of political and cultural leaders of today. And like Moonies under Sun Myung Moon, Germans under the influence of Hitler, or Branch Davidians under David Koresh, a percentage of my country has fallen into a cult of personality. As political elites, corporate puppeteers, and Russian oligarchs continue to spend their dark money spinning well-coordinated propaganda, the followers don't even suspect that they've been played. So how did this happen? It took me 25 years to recognize and escape the psychological prison of cult life. But our little cult was hardly on the world stage with all the gravitas afforded to the most powerful and influential country in the world. We were about 150 men and women insulated within our own small clandestine community. We called ourselves the Buddha Field. One member, Will Allen, even made a movie about us called Holy Hell. After they presented Holy Hell at the Sundance Film Festival, I heard people say anything from, "I get it, I would have joined that group," or "I would never be that stupid. How could anyone fall for that?" There is one common denominator among all the members of the Buddha Field. We would say, you had to be there. As I witness a portion of my country having been lured in by a narcissistic sociopath, I'm reminded of what it was like in the Buddha Field. Why did we follow such a leader? What makes people give up their will, their sense of right and wrong, give up their moral compass and family ties for a person or an ideal? The following is a profound statement from the publisher's summary of The Most Dangerous Superstition by Larkin Rose. Quote, "The vast majority of theft, extortion, intimidation, harassment, assault, and even murder, in other words, the vast majority of man's inhumanity to man, comes not from the greed, hatred, and intolerance that lurks in our hearts. Rather, it comes from one pernicious and almost universal assumption, one unquestioned belief, one irrational, self-contradictory superstition, the belief in authority." I set out on this journey to explore these questions. I've read extensively about cult mind control, propaganda techniques, the pathology of narcissists and sociopaths, and the innate human urge to belong. We all are complicated, but there are some common traits that every human being possesses, and I have a burning desire to share them. I wrote this book because I sought to understand why I made the choices I made in my life, so I could better understand why others make their choices. Before we go down this rabbit hole, let me be clear. This is not a memoir. I have a graduate degree, I'm an experienced researcher, and I approach this as a science project of sorts. I'm not going to give you 10 ways to have a meaningful dialogue with someone in the other camp. Politics has gone way beyond a let's agree to disagree scenario. I don't expect at the end of this journey that we're all going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. This is not about policy or political ideology or even the guru or our political leaders, as much as it is about the followers, from the viewpoint of a follower. Well, that's a little bite. We'll get to more later, or you can buy the book or get audibles. But I'll see you later. Thanks for listening.